Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I never start a DIY this way, but I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes of what's going on. There are a lot of creators on YouTube doing Christmas in July. I know it's the last day of July or second to last day of July. So I wanted to squeeze it in here. I took a poll on my community page and the majority of people said yes, they'd like to see a Christmas in July. And then I was inspired by something that I saw that gave it a little bit of a twist. So here you go. We're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree Christmas in July with a twist. We're going to do a little bit of a seaside theme. That's what the twist is. So we're going to use a sign from the Dollar Tree, either this square one with the starfish, or you could try, if you still have this long one with the starfish, either one will work fine. Then we're going to use some of these embellishments. They were around now, actually in the stores around the summertime. We're going to use a little piece of nautical rope. I have showing you the 13-foot, but we're going to need the 9.5-foot, and I'll tell you why. We're going to use a ruler. You can use Dollar Tree rulers, but I really wanted to jump on here and tell you that these were 25 cents at Walmart, and I stocked up, as you may see in the future. Then we're going to need some seashells. These are from the Dollar Tree. Of course, you could use the rulers from the Dollar Tree if you want to. And then we're going to use some sand, also from the Dollar Tree. We're going to use one of these little buckets, but actually I'm going to use it. I'll show you a couple of different choices of buckets. And then we're going to use some of the fat popsicle sticks, or I'm actually going to use the fat popsicle sticks from Walmart. I like those better. And then we're going to use a towel for another DIY, but you could use the white chamois cloth or any piece of batting you have. Then we're going to use some buttons for embellishments, as well as a little piece of a Santa Claus hat. We're actually going to repurpose a Santa Claus hat that I got for 50 cents after Christmas. So first thing you want to do is you want to pull off the shell. Now I've decided to just remove the shiny part of this paper, and I'm going to leave sort of that cardboard paper underneath, because I want this board to kind of have texture. So I was inspired by this collection that just came out on LTD Commodities website. It didn't even come out in a catalog yet, but it was so cute because it's a beach themed Christmas. And I thought, how appropriate for Christmas in July. You guys get it now. I'm clever. No, I'm really not. So I was originally had all of these farmhouse things in mind, but then when I saw this, I said, absolutely 100% we have to do that instead. Because not only was I inspired by this from LTD's Commodities, but also from my best friend Lisa. She wants to live in Key West someday, and my best friend Sharon already lives in Florida, so that's just part of it. What I'm doing here is I'm putting down a coat of Ivory Waverly chalk paint, and then taking my brush and dipping it into some mineral and just stroking it across a few times just to look like a weathered boardwalk. I'm not adding any harsh lines. Then when I let it dry, I added some of the Dollar Tree blue acrylic paint to a little bit of Waverly white chalk paint to create this lighter shade of blue, as well as this darker shade of blue. And I wanted it to be variegated, and it is. And I'm just hand painting it, but of course you could use stickers. If you don't like your hand painting, you could take the Dollar Tree stickers and you can paint them before you put them down. I've had people say that once you paint them, sometimes you Mod Podge under them and over them to help them stick better, but that's all these are options. If you have a Cricut, if you want to print something out, any of these things. I'm just going for this fun, homemade, handmade looking sign. But the play on words for this sign is seas and greetings. So I thought that was super cute, and I totally wanted to redo this. So that's what we did. So it's supposed to sound like season's greetings, get it? So now I'm taking the starfish, I cracked myself up, and it had like yellow glitter accents, and I just took the beige paint and I went over it, the sand colored paint, and I went over it, and then I colored the dolphin blue and the starfish that same solid sand color. But of course you can do whatever you choose, okay? So then I just decided to, design how I wanted this to go. The original inspiration piece really just had like some things printed on the back paper, but we just went with that accent to figure out how we wanted it. Okay, now I'm taking my scissor and I'm making the holes bigger, but obviously you guys can skip this step if you just want to put the jute back. But I wanted to use nautical rope because I really wanted to accent that ocean nautical kind of feel. So I've just taken, this is the 9.5 foot nautical rope. I tried the 13 foot, and it was too thick. I told you guys this is thinner, not just shorter. But this one worked perfect. It also ties a knot a lot better. What I did to tie a knot was just basically tied it to itself, overhand, looping in. I used my pliers to hold the end as I worked the knot down towards the pliers, basically made it nice and tight. And I repeated that with both sides. I get just however long you want it to hang, that's how much rope you put. And then I just put a dot of hot glue in the back of both knots just to basically secure them. But that's not really necessary once you have this tight enough. But that's just an option if you guys don't have, if you have a little bit more trouble tying the knot tight. Now I also made both knots in the same direction. I basically made right hand knots. If you wanted to do a symmetry look, you get one right hand knot, one left hand knot. That would be good too. And this is how it looks. It's super cute. I don't have it hanging just on display here. We're going to need a burner cover. This is the set. I used it for the cloche. This is the smaller one of the two that I had left over. But really, you can use any upside down plate, anything that's sort of a big surface. And then this little block, I also didn't mention we're going to use, but this is just an option. You can use 2 Jenga blocks if you want to, but that actually came off of some of the boxed art. I told you guys I save everything, but it holds the ruler perfectly. So what I did was I put a coat of sand colored paint. Basically, I mixed mineral and white, and I just coated the entire burner cover as well as that little block. And then I'm showing you here the options for using the Dollar Tree popsicle sticks or the ones from Walmart. And the ones from Walmart are better sized. If you don't have these from Walmart, you can break apart a ruler from the Dollar Tree. Just one a little bit thicker than the actual popsicle sticks will give you for the look, for it basically to be the look that I'm trying to duplicate. But either one would work. It looks really cute either way. And now we're going to paint them. We're going to basically mix a little bit of castle with a little black and a little white with a little bit of that mineral. I know it sounds like a crazy combination of colors, but it's basically what we're going to do is create a weathered boardwalk driftwood sort of a feel. And that's really what the inspiration piece was. I almost wish that I would have just made 2 layers of this because I like the heft and the inspiration piece. It looks like nice and thick. And of course, these just look like popsicle sticks, but it still looks really good when it's all done. All right, and then you're going to set them off to let them dry. I did just snap them using my needle nose pliers, but you could snap them however you want. Now, what this actually says is, who needs snowflakes when you have seashells? Now, the inspiration piece had starfish on it, but you can't, it's hard to find starfish at the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put seashells on here instead, but I'm not going to put as many. The inspiration piece had 3 starfish. This is just going to have 2 seashells. And it also had a little Santa hat hanging off of it. So what I've done is I've offset the word snowflake and offset the word seashell so it could fit the 2 seashells on that. And then I basically just made them, wrote it with just a marker, handwritten is fine. And then of course when I glue them, you want to glue them like, they're weathered boards and they're falling down. So a little topsy-turvy, okay? And I glued the seashells on there as well. And then we're just going to take the bottom. I did put the ruler. This ruler has 3 holes for a 3-ring binder and then a hole to hang on the bottom, or on the top technically. I did put that hole towards the bottom because it's going to kind of be hidden. And then I just put a lot of hot glue in that little wooden piece and glued it in. If you don't have that little wooden piece, you could take Jenga blocks and glue them on both sides of the ruler just to create a base for it to glue onto. Okay, and then I set it off to the side while I made the seashell bucket. Now originally, as you can see, this is the new bucket that I found at the Dollar Tree in the party section. It comes in red, white, purple, blue, and green. It's a little too tall, but I'll show you. What we did was we stuffed garbage bags in it, some scrap woods, as well as glued some seashells in there. So then we're going to take the burner cover now that it's dry, and we're going to glue the tree on there towards the back. Now I've laid a bunch of Mod Podge down and spread the sand all over. I feel like I missed a lot of things in the beginning. I'm sorry. I usually tell you guys everything that you need, but I just kind of skip stuff. You need Mod Podge. You need a bucket. You need hot glue. So what I've done is 2 layers. I've did a layer, shook it off, added some more Mod Podge, dabbed it on. You want to really dab that part on, and then added some more sand. And then I've set that off to dry. So now I've taken this 50-cent hat from Walmart from last year. I cut about a 3-inch hat off the top. I just cut the pom-pom off, cut the little bit of hat off. I took some of this car chamois microfiber cloth or whatever they call it, and I've cut a little band for the hat, and I'm going to glue it basically up for a second, and then we're going to fold it down to get a nice clean seam. Okay, so I just put a little glue there. Put the glue, as you can see, I'm gluing like to the edge of the hat. I'm making the piece of material go up, and then I'm gluing around all sides and gluing the white fabric to itself. And then once I'm all done, I will fold it down and it'll make it cute and longer. And then we're going to glue a little pom-pom on it from the Dollar Tree pom-poms. And now I've stuck it on the seashell, or the inspiration piece actually had that there, and it was flopped down, but we're going to move it, so you'll see. But first we're going to do, and this is an option, the inspiration piece was lit, but this is an option. I've taken some twinkle lights from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap them around so it can be lit as well. These are the copper wired ones. I figured they probably would blend the best. And now I'm taking that seashell that we painted, basically with that same paint, I just stroked in the direction of the seashell grooves, and I glued it right there, just an accent piece. And then I added the hat to the top after I wrapped the wires, the lights all around. Now I do want to show you that I took the big bucket and I laid it down. Because it was standing up, it was blocking the bottom words. So I tried to lay it down. I just didn't like that as much as the inspiration. But I was gifted this little tiny silver bucket. I have no idea where it came from. So forgive me for using it in a project that I have no idea where it came from. But I wanted to show you what it looked like with the little white bucket from the Dollar Tree. And its little hat on the top. And it's super cute. It really is. And we put some shells down there just like the inspiration piece. But I ended up using the silver bucket because it was actually the perfect size. And the inspiration piece, the bucket was galvanized. Okay. So now we're going to take the towel from the Dollar Tree and we're just going to make a square out of it. I kind of used the 2 sewn edges and then the one like ribbed edge that goes in the middle just for 3 sides. But that's really unnecessary because we're going to cut them off anyway. So I just didn't want that ribbed area to be in the snowman. Okay. So now I'm taking some of the scraps that we had left over and I'm balling them up and I'm basically creating the snowman's head. So this was not directly inspired by the LTD Commodities catalog. This was something that I found that I was going to do this year. I found it on Pinterest and it's a melting snowman. But I thought how appropriate for Christmas in July to have a melting snowman. I don't know. I just thought it was clever. So basically what you do is you want to take a piece of batting, this towel, any of the want to take the car cloth, microfiber car cloth. You can do any of that stuff. And you basically want to make a melty snowman. They have these blankets they call loveys, which basically looks like a blanket with a head in the middle. It's kind of what we're going to do. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my regular scissor and I'm just basically making long drips. The inspiration piece, they just looked like long drips, like it was melting on somebody's porch. And of course it was much bigger and he had a different hat and everything, but we're going to do what we can do with this Dollar Tree stuff in July. So basically you just get it to where you want it. You could probably cut a big section out so it lays totally flat and just glue the cut sections together, but I just left it like this. I took a little piece of the piece that I cut off and I tried to make like a second layer almost. It was all right. It's not necessary though. And then I took that Santa hat and I cut a strip out and basically I'm making a scarf from it. So I just cut a long strip out, make sure it was long enough to tie into a knot. I cut the ends straight and then I fringed them. I basically cut up every so like centimeter or so just to get a little fringe. I tied it around the snowman's neck. And now we're going to give him a face. Now originally I had given him 2 button eyes and these teeny tiny seashell button things that my sister had given me, and you'll see that video tomorrow. and I was made his mouth out of 3 little seashells, but I really didn't like it. He looked creepy. He really did look creepy. Probably because he's so little. If I probably would have had enough room to make like 7 or 8 shell mouths, that would be working a little bit better. So what I did was I just took 1/3 of the piece of nautical rope, and it sort of has a bend to it already. So I just used that as a smile. I put that cute little bucket on his head because, again, he's supposed to be melting at the beach. And Bob's your uncle. Glued some buttons melting down his side. And I thought that this was a really cute idea for Christmas in July. I'm sorry I'm going on about it. I just was inspired by so many different things. This is also video is going out to my friend Chantal, who I worked with at AHRC, who's from South Africa. And I got to experience Chantal experiencing snow for the first time. Because if you imagine that anybody south of the equator has Christmas in the summertime anyway. So this, of course, is inspired by all of the people that I love. So if you guys have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. I really hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody who might be interested in learning how to make a seaside Christmas. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!